To the daily shift or every day between Monday and Friday. I come to you on YouTube mainly, but on Sundays also I stream it into Facebook for a few minutes a day to help you to create easily the life that you want in just a few minutes a day. I really believe in the perfect equation that says that you will prosper and be in health as your soul, which is your mind, your will, and your emotions prosper. So if you're watching this live, go ahead and put hashtag live for me down below. You can also put hashtag replay, and I would love to connect with you, whether you're on Facebook or on YouTube. So today, for the next 4 days, I'm going to be touching on some of the things. I'm going to be doing a deeper dive into the 4 pillars of life. And the 4 pillars of life in the masterclass I'm doing called Unlocking Your Divine Abundance. That's going to be on 10/10. It'll be for a couple hours in this masterclass. But if you did not get one of the complimentary seats, I wanted to make sure to, at least when you're finding this, even if it's outside of the timeline, that you're able to get a little taste of it. I am a task animal. I am very results orientated. That's part of my masculine energy, which I love. I just release love and light over this right now, and I soak it in love and in light, and I command no more interruptions. And so it is. What was it? Oh, the 4 pillars of life. You know, if you're wanting to do things, and I appreciate when things happen like this, because that way you know that when you're doing something live, not everything is always perfect, and you just go with the flow, right? Don't get caught up in your feelings and get upset. Just take control, take over, and continue on. So the 4 pillars of life, I'm going to be doing this masterclass, and in the next 4 days, I'm going to be giving you a little bit. So even if you find this outside of the timeline, you can still benefit from it. So today we're going to be talking about the first pillar and a little bit about the event that I'm having next week. It's a masterclass to activate abundance in the 4 pillars of life, which is what I'm calling emotional freedom, personal vitality, right? And your personal vitality has to do with able to do healthy boundaries and really allowing your yes to be yes and your no to be no, and creating, and really activating the right aligned decisions for yourself. I am exceptional in this, even in my human design. Like, that is the thing that I'm exceptional at, and I help people with, is creating those healthy boundaries and really coming into alignment. And so if that's of interest to you, I invite you to check us out. The other thing we'll be doing, and I'll be also bringing here on YouTube and on Facebook, is activating the other pillar of thriving relationships. One of the things that people tell me all the time, I'm a single mom of 3, almost 23, a 20-year-old and a 14-year-old, is that every time they meet my children, they're like, they are the wisest, nicest, most compassionate young people I have ever met. And there's a lot of talk, and I've seen a lot of talk around parenting, where people they love their kids, but they don't actually enjoy being a parent. I enjoy being a parent. And that's because I've been able to connect with my children in a very profound way. And whether it's with your children or with your spouse or your person, or even at work, I'm going to help unlock for you how to activate those thriving, abundant relationships. And we're going to do it starting with on Facebook and YouTube. And then lastly, flowing in abundance, which is the last pillar. Now, in this last pillar of flowing in abundance, something that I'm also exceptional at, where I'm not in lack. Every time I need money, it shows up, even beforehand. Even like I was remembering this morning where I was just like, I would like to buy some jeans. But for those who are single parents, you're like, oh, well, all my money goes to my kids. And so, I'm no exception. And back then, and then I was like, I had lost a lot of weight, and I'm like, I need some new clothes. And literally within a week or two, somebody had cleaned out her closet. She gave me some high-end clothes. A lot of things had tags on them. So a lot of times we want money, but we don't really want money. We want the thing that money will give us. And so I flow in that natural non-lack state, and I'm going to help you to really tap into your divine financial abundance as well. With that, you get a support group on Telegram that's temporary to help you connect and be empowered with other people just like you. And there's going to be bonuses, which includes the one-on-one with me. It's a surprise new bonus. And we're going to have prizes because I love prizes. So we're going to have prizes as well. Today, we're going to be focusing on how to really free yourself from the imposter syndrome. Now, one of the things about imposter syndrome is that, with all lies, I have a friend of mine, she said, the devil loves to play two truths and a lie. And it's the lie where we get tripped up on and we focus on that. So I'm a coach, among other things. I'm also a best-selling author. And one of the things that a lot of coaches have is this imposter syndrome. And it's because, okay, how can I teach somebody to do something that I know how to do? I've had results. My clients are getting results, but I myself maybe am not getting there myself or sustaining it or maintaining it. And so I was one of my favorite coaches that I follow online. Her name is Rebecca Lima. And she talked about this last week on her Facebook group. And then this week she did a post. And I think this is really going to be helpful for those of you who are coaches. And she was like, okay, what is the difference between a mentor and a coach? A mentor is someone who's actually been there, done that, and can teach you their way of how they did it, right? Because they're already there and they're already sustaining. So what I do is partially mentoring because I've been there and done that, and partially in coaching, right? Coaches, what do? They fill in the gap to help you from where you are to where you want to be. So I do a combination of both mentoring because I've been there and done that, and also the coaching, which is helping you get to where you want, filling in that gap for you. And I think that's really helpful to remember because as coaches, and I know a lot of coaches, they're brilliant. They're really good at what they do. They help people get, they are that gap for their clients. And sometimes they get into their head like, well, I'm not, making the 7 figures. I'm not making the 8 figures, but their clients are. And Rebecca's story was really good because she said, she had, I think it was a client or know somebody that she's like, oh, she's got a perfect body. She runs into her at the gym and Rebecca had lost a significant amount of weight. And she's like still working on her ideal body and her health. And the lady was so impressed and so inspired by Rebecca's story of losing weight. She's like, well, how can I inspire you when you have the perfect body? But that's the thing about coaching is that we inspire others. We are the gap for our people from where they are to where they want to be. And sometimes it's like, doctor, heal yourself. And so when you feel this imposter syndrome, it's because you're looking at yourself through the wrong lens. And so when you start to see yourself as, yes, you know you have the goods. You already have, results for people, that those are your testimonials. So you know that you have the goods and you know that you can take your clients from where they are to where they want to be. And that's the truth that you need to focus on. A lot of times, and so going back to that story that Rebecca was sharing, is like understanding that, sometimes you are the mentor and sometimes you are the coach. And when you want to be a coach, but you're focusing on the results of a mentor and what that means, now you're having a skewed vision, and that's how you end up going into imposter syndrome. So we're going to release some of that and give you some emotional freedom through this modality called emotional freedom technique, also known as tapping. If you're new to tapping, think of tapping as acupuncture without the needles. And so the beautiful thing about EFTs, even if you're new to this, I don't know if you know this, but I've been doing it for a long time and I didn't know this. But the studies show that 1 hour of tapping can reduce cortisol levels up to 43%. Yes. So this is one of those things that when you find something that you love, find a tapping session. I have a whole bunch of them in the playlist called The Daily Shift. Just go and find them, and then you can go ahead and play that every single day. Play it a couple times a day. You can't overdose on it. And it's going to help reduce the cortisol levels. And why is that important? Because that, right, is that flight or fight or, fawn. And then all those chemicals that are supposed to be helpful are now in overdrive. And a lot of times for women, right, they're showing up in your midsection. And so as you're reducing the cortisol level, what happens is that women have found that their weight drops as well. So this is a way for you to reduce your stress. What we know about people when they go into dis-ease is that the main trigger is stress. So if you can bring down those cortisol levels, bring yourself into now some neutrality, those are things that's going to really help you in every area of your life, including the way you think, right? Because when you're all frazzled and in anxiety and in fear and worry and imposter syndrome, the way you think is your gift. And when you're in these negative emotional cycles, every thought has a chemical signature, and now you're flooding your body with going into chemical chaos. And it floods right here, right in the middle, or your frontal cortex, and it drops your IQ 15 points. What's your IQ? Your IQ is not about you being smart. It's just the speed of which you process data. And now you can't process what's right in front of you correctly. You can't see the answer and the solutions right in front of you. So we're going to be helping you get back into your badass self and then start calming your body down through this method. The way we're going to tap is we're going to tap the top of your head. You can't do this wrong. You're not going to blow up the sides. Right between the middle here, underneath your eyes, underneath your nose, right here, like this crevice, your chin area, the collarbone. And then we're going to go to the thymus, which is like, think about the collarbone, a couple inches down, right in the middle. We're going to tap that, and then we're going to tap the wrist. We're going to start with something called, and everything does different points, hit different things. We're going to start with something called the karate chop. And if you want more on that, check out the daily shift playlist where I'm doing the EFTs, because for some of them I go to a specific point only and then unfold and give you some knowledge of what that specifically is doing. But we're doing it I'm just like praying over this thing. Life happens. Just stick with me. Okay, watching this on replay, it's fine. And I have the better internet. I have two internets, and I have the better one on. It's all right. Let's go with the flow, people. All right. Oh, the daily shift. Yes, the EFTs in the daily shift. You can find the things, the titles that resonate with you, for you, and then just do them. All right, let's start together. Just repeat after me. Today I take responsibility for my life, which just means I have the ability to respond. And sometimes I feel like an imposter because I know I have the goods. I know I can deliver. I have proof that I can, and I have. But maybe it's not always consistent for me. It's like, doctor, heal yourself. And even though I feel all these things, I deeply love, accept, and forgive myself. And so it is. Sometimes I just feel like a fraud, because sometimes things are great and they're smooth and I feel successful. And then, wah, wah, I end up having a dry season and people are not booking or ordering from me. And it makes me feel less than. When things are not happening in the way I think they should, or the way I've been trained that it should go, I start to look inwardly. And maybe I start to feed thoughts like, what's wrong with me? Why aren't people booking or buying? Maybe I'm not supposed to be doing this. Maybe I'm not called to this. And it's an endless loop. And then I might open myself up to more negativity. And that negativity causes me to self-sabotage. And it continues to loop. And then I continue to have the same results, which is dryness or too much swings. Some months when they're good, they're very good. And then it's like, wah, really, really bad. And then I can be thinking, maybe I need another certification. Maybe I need to learn more. Maybe I believe the lie that people buy my energy. It's true and it's not true. My energy attracts people. It magnetizes to them. It is part of my charisma. But what they really want is the results that I bring. And I bring amazing results to the table. But if I'm focusing on just part of the truth, it then becomes a lie. Because then I'm thinking, well, if people buy my energy and then no one's buying, is my energy off? What's wrong with me? And that feeds more imposter syndrome. Or if I believe that I need 100 certifications to prove on paper that I'm a badass at this, and still no one even cares, it continues to feed an imposter syndrome. Because nobody cares how many certifications I have. They just want the results. And I have proof of amazing results. So I choose right now to take my power back. I choose right now to release the belief that everything has to be perfect. No, it doesn't. I choose right now to release the belief that the main thing that people buy is my energy. That's not true. They love my energy. It's part of my charisma. But they're buying into my story, into the testimonials of people who love my stuff, who've gotten the results, or just really love the products that I've created. So I adjust that right now. My energy is just part of the beautiful package that I have to offer. And I choose to release any belief system that is tying my self-worth to my results. What if Disney would have stopped because he was rejected over and over again? Or Colonel Sanders with his KFC? Or all these other amazing people? They were constantly failing. They were constantly being rejected. And yet they're remembered not for their failures, but for their success. The one thing they have in common is that they had a wonderful self-identity. They knew who they were, and they knew what they had to provide to the world and to give to this world was their amazing gifts and talents. They honored that. And I choose to take my power back right now and honor that as well. I honor my gifts. I honor my talents. I honor my tenacity. I honor my energy. I release this lie of imposter syndrome. I am not an imposter. I am amazing at what I do. I am not a fraud. I'm a person of excellence, which is a good thing, but it has also tripped me up. Me wanting to bring the best is not a bad thing. I want to bring the best of myself. I want my clients and my customers to have the best. There's nothing wrong with that. But me tying results to my identity is what feeds imposter syndrome. And so I release all that now. I am not an imposter. I'm excellent at what I do. I love what I do. And that's why I deeply love, accept, and forgive myself. I forgive myself for being too hard on myself, and I receive grace right now. I forgive myself for saying negative things to myself and over my business. I release all that now and replace it with gratitude and speak life and abundance to my business, to the work of my hands, because the work of my hands are blessed. I am designed for it. I am wired for success. Success is in my DNA. Success is who I am. And I get who I think I am. And I choose to believe this truth. I am that. I am at the right place, at the right time, with the right people, doing the right things in the right order, which means everyone that I'm supposed to encounter, to bless them with my energy, to bless them with my gifts, to bless them with my talents, they're in the right place too. Because I'm wired for success, and so are they. And like is calling out to like. I have the answers that they seek. And I can't wait to see how this shows up. And so it is. Take a breath. Hold. All right, my loves. I love you very much. And until next time, which will be very, very soon, come back tomorrow at 12:15 p.m. Central Time, where we start to really talk about the second pillar of life, the personal vitality, where we'll talk about how to create those healthy boundaries and how to make the right aligned decisions for you. And again, if you want more of this, then I invite you to grab your ticket, because it's going to be $55.55, but for the next 12 hours or so, it's going to be at $11.11. Every single day it's going to increase until it gets to the $55.55 price. And again, you get all these things because I am a giver. I love to give. So you're going to get the masterclass, the replay, support, lots of bonuses, including a one-on-one with me afterwards, and prizes a total value of over $444. Until next time, which will be very soon. I'll see you tomorrow or on the next replay if that's how we are connecting. May God's riches and best be yours. I love you. Bye now.